You are watching the #1 wrestling podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And I am your host, Ryan, Legend Killer Whitman.
That's right. See, that we have the whole team right there. So, guys, it's a Friday night, so we're going to talk about Smackdown. And it was a pretty good show, actually. Are you ready for some bullshit? Not bullshit this time, right, guys? And that was actually good. We enjoyed this.
Decent show.
Yeah, we had, a lot of things like the bar fight. We have Alexa Bliss going against Nikki Cross, the friendship. Do we see some kind of tension right there? What happened?
I think so. And that match, we can thank the role model Bayley because she, sets up these opportunities like she, discussed in the opening segment. So that was good. And then we saw a #1 contender match for the Intercontinental Championship, which I thought was a great match as well. Yeah,
Great Metalik. Great Metalik is, our new #1 contender for the IC Championship. Ryan, what do you think about this whole SmackDown? Good? It's been a while that we actually can say that. The Fiend is also back.
Yeah, it felt like a show with purpose, which is, I feel like, has been lacking in WWE lately. The #1 contender matches, advancing the storyline of Strowman and Wyatt. Just felt like a very good show, and they made the most of the time that they had.
Absolutely, family. So thank you so very much for watching every single one of the videos that we have. We have with our newest member, like I said, the Legend Killer is with us. We have Extreme Rules. We have Raw. We have also AEW. We had NXT. It's very personal between Kid Lee and Karrion. Even Kid Lee said it, and we put that in the thumbnail. And he goes, "Oh, it's really personal now, Karrion." So they actually watch the show. Thank you for that, guys.
Yep.
So let's start, guys, with like you said, we had a little bit of Jim Hardy saying, "I'm gonna kick your ass, Sheamus." Bar fight, and then the fella is no, I'm gonna drink a little bit and I'm gonna kick your ass too. So that was kind of they're doing that for the second week in a row, yeah, right, guys? Because it's the last week also they had just everybody kind of talking what was gonna happen in the show.
Yeah.
So let's start with the show. Actually, Bayley and Sasha coming out, and they're defining the definition of great. And great is they are because they have both titles. It's really amazing, they're talking about how the women's evolution is over, completely over. Why? Because it's the era of Sasha and Bayley, and then boom, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, they come out and they start talking. Hey, they want a championship opportunity. They said next time I can really beat you. And like I said, Jean-Paul, Bayley is actually a better booker than what Ruth Pritchard will be, what Vince will be, but Paul Heyman will be. So she actually sets up a match between Alexa and Nikki Cross, right, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, and exactly. And this is one of the things where it's it's good for two reasons. One, it sets up the story because I think maybe we thought there was going to be a split, but I think it's going to be where Nikki stays face and Alexa turns heel. And also, since these two have been partners forever, it's a fresh matchup because when's the last time, or this might even be the first time we've seen them go against each other one-on-one. Yeah,
now we actually never saw that. So Ryan, when you're watching this, what are your feelings? #1 contender for the Bayley.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good. There where kind of Alexa was I don't know if I want to do that, and Nikki just pushes her. It's just good little character moment for Nikki for Nikki Cross. I said Alexa. So.
Oh yeah, but see, guys, we're doing like this. Alexa, Ryan has an Alexa, so everyone say Bliss is everywhere. But like I said, I really like when Nikki pushed her Alexa, and she's
good development.
Oh yeah, that was legit. Yeah, in the beginning, because she was because you said, Nikki wants this. She said if she has one more shot at Bayley, she's I can win that belt. So she didn't care who she had to go through.
Yeah, no, and guys, the match was actually good. They let her wrestle 12 minutes, 13 minutes, and Alexa didn't look that bad. Why? Because Nikki is a good wrestler.
Yeah, so exactly. And she carried them, and commentary carried them as well. Bayley and Sasha are so obnoxious, but in the best way possible as heels. They're funny, and the going back and forth with Michael Cole. Anytime he says something Bayley was Michael Cole, she's what are you doing at SummerSlam? Do you want a match? She's I'll kick your ass at SummerSlam. And he's oh, well, I'm undefeated, so he's so.
It's true, and also, for example, when Corey goes to Bayley, remember when Alexa beat you with the candlestick and you couldn't do it? And he's oh yeah, I remember it was in my hometown, Corey.
Yeah,
all pissed off. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was so. Yeah, and I love when then when they go to the outside and then both Alexa and Nikki, they look at the golden role models, and then they just like slam them into the barricade, and they're like, and it was done.
And then Ryan, what are you thinking at this moment? Like, were you thinking Alexa was going to win, or were you rooting for Nikki? What was that going through your head?
I was hoping for Nikki. I thought maybe they would go with pushing Alexa, kind of the bigger star, but it makes more sense to have Nikki go over in this situation, advance the storyline from Extreme Rules. And I think it'd be good to have that rematch of Nikki and Bayley. They had a good match at Extreme Rules, so they could definitely do it again next week.
Exactly. Yeah, it was good. And in the end, like kind of Nikki, kind of like you see like the injury, the ribs because of what happened at Extreme Rules. And then Charles Robinson is checking on Nikki, but then Alexa kind of goes for the DDT. But no, nothing happens. And then Nikki rolls her up, 1, 2, 3, and then she's the #1 contender. So good. And then you see Alexa kind of like, so.
Yeah, Alexa's face told it all. She didn't look like she was like, oh, I'm happy for my best friend. She looked like, you bitch. She had that look where she was like disappointed, but also like annoyed and pissed off. So it's like you feel that heel turn coming.
It's good. It's good. I wouldn't mind it. Like you, Ryan, you will mind that? Like.
No, she was great when she was a heel, so it'd be good to see her have another heel presence on the show with already 2 very strong heels with Sasha and Bayley. And even Lacey Evans, I'd say, is a very strong heel.
Exactly. So, yeah, they need more heels. And, heels, like we always said this, when you're healed, you can actually go and do so much better. You can do many other things when you're healed. So that's important. And now talking about heels, like we're going to go to, like, we really had you're our friend. And this is a friendship that will never, ever end. So, howdy. What is it? Howdy ho? Or...
Yowie wowie.
Yowie wowie, yeah, like howdy, yeah, wowie wowie. Somebody used to say howdy, right, Ryan? Somebody used to say howdy.
Oh, yeah.
So we got Bray Wyatt, and he's in his gimmick, in his normal gimmick, and he's talking about like Braun Strowman and the match that they had at Extreme Rules. We didn't even have a clear winner right there, so it's kind of confusing what was happening. But in the end, he pretty much says that like it was fun to hang out with Braun Strowman in that kind of way. But it says like I'm done with you, and he has like the face like Bray Wyatt. I will say like the Wyatt.
Like the original Bray Wyatt.
Lantern, yeah, he has that, and that's cool though. A lot of people were buying that. And then he says, "Well, I'm done with you. I don't need you anymore." He's like, "Let me do it again." Then he's like, "Fuck that. No, it's done. I don't want to."
He's like, you're done.
Done because he's unleashed. And then we see the Fiend and all of that. So, what do you guys think? Let's start with Brian and we go to Leek.
Yeah, no, I am a big fan of the Funhouse segments. So whenever they air, I'm always hooked to the TV. But it was a good one. Kind of more of the same what we've been getting of the kind of. It's almost as if he's falling into the old shtick of the Wyatt family, where the promos were always kind of cryptic. But the Fiend's coming out. It's what we expected from the end of Extreme Rules, where the Fiend came out of the swamp. So, the Fiend's out. It's more confirming what we already knew.
Exactly. Now, Leek.
No, I agree with Ryan. I think, when he was looking at the lantern, because that's the face of, like, the old, cult leader, Bray Wyatt, he's like, I don't need you anymore. Like, this was just, we brought Braun Strowman home, and that's all you needed to do. You're done because the Fiend is here. He's pretty much like, the Fiend is what's going to get me over. Like, you could never win the big one, old Bray Wyatt, but the Fiend, he can. So the Fiend's here. He's going to win. And like Ryan said, it continues the story. Maybe the promos are a little cryptic, but, the Fiend is here and he's, popular. So he's going to be beating Braun Strowman.
I agree with both of my brothers because they are my brothers. So I think that like is necessary. It's like you got to pull the big guns. It's like the Fiend is the only guy that like can beat anybody but Goldberg. So, hey, let's try to do that quick. Let's try to pull him out, and like that's SummerSlam. SummerSlam, they need to put out big guns. Ratings are down. MLB is starting, so they need to put like a much better show. So it was good. I really like that. So we're gonna go with Mr. Leeg now because we're gonna talk about one of his guys. So we're gonna talk about Bro. So see, Bro, Matt Riddle, like he's gonna go against Tony Nese. I feel bad for the premier athlete.
Oh yeah, Tony Nese. He's like, I mean, the guy is so legit as a wrestler, and he was in that cruiserweight, the round robin tournament, and he like lost every single match he had. Then he's here, and I mean, while it was a decent match, this was probably the shortest match of the night. And Matt Riddle obviously won this thing, so Tony Nese didn't look very good, but and he was just used as a pawn to further the story. Yeah,
like a Bro Derek and done, and then Ryan, like Baron Corbin comes out and then he says, well, you know, you're not ready for main roster. Like, you know, you're more NXT vibe. You suck, you know. I know that I used to like Baron Corbin back in the day when like he was like the metal guy. Even he had that feud with like Corey Taylor. You know, like that's the Baron Corbin that we would like to see. You know, going with Matt Riddle. What do you think about this whole feud?
Yeah, well, when Corbin was the Lone Wolf, it was a gimmick that I liked. I really liked his whole vibe and everything. But then once he went corporate, and then just he was never the same for me again. And, you know, the feud with Matt Riddle, I mean, they'll put some good matches on. Corbin's I would say he's a good wrestler, safe worker. But I feel like there could be more for both of them out there besides feuding with each other. And the whole, oh, well, you're not ready for the big leagues, I feel like it's been overplayed. So, you know, overall, I'd say it's going to be
It is true. It is true. And I want to tell you, like, there was a lot of rumors that they said that Baron Corbin was actually testing because he wasn't convinced about Matt Riddle. So he actually told, like, the writers and, you know, the officials, like, hey, make him have a good few matches first and then come to me. So you see a little bit of, like, hey, I'm not completely sold on the bro Baron Corbin. And that sucks because the bro is legit.
Oh, but with this, I think it's just, I mean, whether that's the case or not, or that's just, you know, kayfabe news, you know, some bullshit out there. But I think this is just Baron Corbin. They know what his role is. Vince McMahon wanted him to be a main event guy. Everybody sees him as a joke. When I see and think of Baron Corbin, I think of when he had the dog food dumped all over him. So he's just a joke, and he's just going to be Matt Riddle's first feud. Matt Riddle is going to eventually beat Baron Corbin. Okay, see you later. And then he's going to probably challenge AJ Styles again or whoever for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah,
that's what I see.
Family. Yeah, like Jean Paul was saying, sorry that I cut you off, but like, we have a great picture for the whole SummerSlam card. So, you know, like on the Road Break on Facebook and also on the Instagram. So, guys, you know, let us know if you guys agree to that. But you're right, Jean Paul. Right? I think that this feud, like, is just a step up for AJ Styles. That's all I think.
This is, remember when people would get called up from NXT and they'd feud with Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Well, this is the new Dolph Ziggler. It's King Corbin. He just feuds with everybody who gets called up.
And I agree with Ryan also. Like, like Baron Corbin when the Lone Wolf used to be legit, you know.
Like, I love that.
Days is legit, you know. He's all like, as a wrestler, he's good. Dave 6 is a pretty good move,
when he was at NXT, he was putting away guys really quick, and they were counting in his matches like 10, 12 seconds because that's how over he was. They wanted him to win matches real quick. Now people hate him.
Ryan, if he comes back as the Lone Wolf, I think he'll be a lot better than being this King Corbin crap. Yeah,
the King Corbin is. It's hard to work the King gimmick. Only a few wrestlers have been able to do it, and when they slap it on somebody, it's a hard thing to get over.
It is. Yeah, absolutely right. So like that, pretty much Matt Riddle told him, hey, you're going to be another guy in the bro show. That's what it was. Tony Nese is kind of trying to attack him from the back. Boom! A kick. Go back at the premier athlete at losing. It sucks because he's such a good wrestler, but, you know, he has to, like, lose to every single one. You know, let's go now to, like, the Miz TV. Miz TV, like, they kind of, like, have Naomi as a guest. Why? Because Naomi trained worldwide. Naomi deserves better. She had a little bit of interaction with Booker T also. On Twitter. They had, like, a Twitter war or something just because.
Yeah, and I think he said something on the bump. He was like, hey, like, our one of the shows, he was like, you don't have to, you know, be like a hashtag and people pity you. You deserve better. He's like, no, this is a business where you just go out there and you earn it. You demand it. You don't just have the fans say you deserve better and then you get it handed to you. So he actually wasn't even in the, you know, corner of Naomi.
Yeah, no, they went at it. Yeah, they went at it. And that's what I think. Like I said, Naomi was like, well, I've been here for 10 years. She pretty much said the same thing. Because, like, the Miz, I really like this. I want your thoughts, Ryan. When, like, Naomi came out, like, the Miz was dancing, you know, all that crap. But, like, they have, like, the 5 stars of Rollins' vomit. You know, that was at least, hey, you know, they use something negative as a positive. And, you know, that's cool. Yeah. But, you know, Naomi came out and said, well, you know, I've been here for 10 years. I didn't get anything. And, you know, I never left. But, like, the fact that, like, fans support me and they're behind me, it says something. So, Ryan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Naomi. I think she definitely deserves, you know, at least a title run and be a main event star. She's very athletic, very good in the ring. She's good on the mic. She's over with the fans, and, you know, the entrance is cool and everything. But, yeah, no, she deserves better. And putting her in a Miz TV segment, I think when you have these talk show segments on the shows, I think they do it a lot now. I feel like before, you know, a few years ago, you would go back and see maybe they do it like once a month, maybe twice, but now it's like every week you have a Miz TV or whatever. And I think now it's just getting overplayed to the point where, when you see that, up next Miz TV, it's like, all right, I guess we're doing that.
It's true, that's why we needed the insight from the Legend Killer, because it's true. Jean Paul, you agree to this?
Yeah, I mean, I thought this Miz TV was actually a little bit better than the recent ones we've seen, just because they did like the Rollins puke thing. I thought that was pretty funny. Like you said, they turned a negative into the positive, and I like how like with Naomi, they were pretty much just kind of how like they can be assholes to somebody's face. Like that to me is like really funny. They'll just be like, well, like, you are kind of bullshit. Like, why do you think you deserve it? Like, did you ever win anything that mattered? Like, you're kind of shitty. And she's like, what the like, this is bullshit. Like, I'm going to kick your ass. And they're like, whoa. Like,
and then, I mean, she was 2-time SmackDown champion, though.
Yeah.
It's not that bullshit, but yeah. And
but I think the problem, though, right now is with all of this, like everything Ryan said is legit, but she's not better than Bayley right now.
Oh, no, yeah.
So that's it. Like, you're not going to take the title off Bayley, or Sasha. That's the story. Naomi, it's like, hey, you're kind of just, you're kind of just here right now. Like,
no, it is true, though. But, like, then we get Lacey, like Ryan said, it's like, she's healed, so it's cool. And then Don Michelle, let's go, the like what they see. So, like, Lacey came out, and, I mean, like, the one thing is, like, she was just selling, like, hey, like, when you get, like, a hashtag, and you get kind of, like, you trend on Twitter, to kind of make fun of her. But see, then is when, for me, the segment lost all the sense. Because then she's like kind of like maybe fixing her lipstick or something. And then boom, Naomi pushes her and it's done.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Lacey Evans, like normally she's tough. When she was a babyface, she's like, oh, I'm tough. I was in the Navy or the Army or whatever.
Do the arm thing.
Yeah, and like you said, she's like, she was a heel. I do like that line though. She's like, did you guys ever lose a match so bad that you had to get a hashtag for pity on Twitter? I'm like, that was a legit line.
Yeah.
But yeah, she got pushed and then she's like, I mean, the cool thing is the lipstick, when it's smudged, it almost looked like blood coming out of her nose. So I'm like, okay, that's legit. But yeah, I don't know. She like has face turns and heel turns like almost as often as Big Show. So I don't know what they're doing. But like I said, if they win this feud, this isn't even number one contender because, Nikki Cross and all that's number one contender.
I mean, maybe later, but it's still like, let's see, Ryan, where do you see this, like, Lacey Evans as a heel? And also like Naomi. Do you see, for example, Naomi beats her, then she could be a possible number one contender for Bayley?
Yeah, I could see Naomi going to be the next feud for Bayley, assuming they don't do the Bayley-Sasha feud right away after SummerSlam. I think Naomi would be a very good contender for that because they can put on some very good matches. And I think she deserves it. I think they would have good chemistry, those two.
Yeah, I agree. So, like, guys, now let's go to number one contender for the IC Championship. Pretty good match. Drew Gulak against Lince Dorado against Greg Metalik and Shorty G. AJ Styles was on commentary also. I don't know if AJ did a great job on commentary because they were like Desperado. They were all like kind of like moving like Mexican movies. I'm like,
yeah, he didn't know the names and stuff. See, to me that was like funny how like ignorant he was being.
Yeah,
like clearly he was like a heel, and I love how they're like, oh, Grand Metalik, and they're like, oh, like doesn't like, oh, what does it have, an M in it? And then Michael Cole flat out goes, no, there's no M in Grand Metalik.
Yeah,
and then they're like, what? And he's like, and then he's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. And then he started calling the match. It was like,
and also like they said like, oh, like there was a Grand Metalik, Metalik, and he goes, no, it's Metalik. I was okay. Let's see, Ryan, your thoughts on all this match? Like, do you like it? Hey, I think it was the best match of the night.
Yeah, I like the match a lot. I would have liked to see Shorty G get the win. I really wish they would drop that gimmick. The Shorty G deserves a whole lot better than that. But no, I'm happy with the outcome of it. This should be a good match between those two.
Yeah, like I was rooting, like I was on the Ryan bandwagon because I was rooting for Shorty. Jean Paul was actually rooting for Grand Metalik, and this is good though because see, you have three guys. I wouldn't say Gulak too much, but like he's been pushed already. But the other three deserve an opportunity. Any one of them.
Yeah, because Gulak already had the title shot, didn't he?
Yeah, and he didn't win.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So he was already out. I was thinking it was either going to be Shorty or Metalik. Lince Dorado's legit as well. But I'm like, I don't know. That's just what I felt. And I'm like, I'm going to go with Metalik. I think that'll be a legit match. And, that's who they went with. And this match, like, you guys both said, I agree with you. This was the match of the night.
Yeah, and like Shorty deserves it, but I think Metal League are also like kind of like they need to push like other type of guys, and he's fresh, and I like that. And like I said to Jean Paul, and I'm telling you to my other bro Ryan, Edge and Daniel Bryan are part of the writing team as of now for both shows, Raw and SmackDown. They need that kind of ideas. Hey, I think that's Daniel Bryan coming right now. He's probably push the guy that you never pushed before. He's talented, right? I don't know. Well, how much time do we have? Yeah. Hispanic dude, go. Beat him. Yeah. Is that Tito Santana? No, Vince. That's not Tito Santana. It's Grand Metalik. Oh, all right. So it was a nice, elbow from the ropes. Like what is it? The master of the ropes?
King of the ropes.
The king of the rope break, like something like that. So like legit, he did it like he walked on the ropes. Yeah, elbow to the shot.
Ooh,
to the heart,
yeah.
To like Shorty, that kind of bullshit. I would much rather Gulag being the one that gets the pin. But guys, that's what it is. But like we had like a number one contender, and AJ Styles goes up, like they're kind of trying to shake hands, and Metal League shows that like he has no word what he's saying, AJ Styles. So he has Lindsay right next translating, yeah, do this, okay, he's gonna slap you, okay, slap, all right, boom, slap back, okay. So like kind of a weird segment, but in the end we're gonna have a good match though. I think AJ Styles, his style can go really well with like what Metal League can do. So let's say from Jean Paul, your thoughts on this match, possible?
Oh, I think it's going to be great. And the one thing, not to skip ahead a little bit, they did announce because Naomi and Lacey Evans are going to have a match as well. And then there's the Nikki Cross and Bayley, this match. And the one thing that I always say I wish the shows would do, which would help the ratings, is announce matches for the following week. And that's 3 matches that they announced, hey, this is what you're going to see next week on SmackDown. Yes. So that's what I liked. And I'm looking forward to all 3 of those matches.
Yeah. Ryan, your thoughts on, like, for example, AJ Styles with Grand Metal League? Is it going to be a good match for you? Are you going to looking forward? Yeah.
I think any match that AJ Styles is involved in has a high chance of becoming a good match. He's just that great of a worker. But yeah, and Metal League, I think they're going to have good chemistry together.
I'm a big fan of match, right?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the lucha kind of style, so meshing AJ and Metal League style together, it's going to work.
Absolutely. See, we're all good on that. So now we're going to go to the big announcement for a lot of people, like the whole internet world. It's trending worldwide because Kofi said, I'm out of action for 6 weeks. I'm done. I went through the table. It's done. So it's time for you, my bro. Going to Big E for a singles push. So let's start with Ryan. What do you think about Big E having a singles push? Is it like overdue? Is it good? Is it positive for Big E? Yes, no, why?
Yeah, I definitely think it's overdue. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already with Vince's fascination with big men like Big E. But yeah, Big E is great talent. One of those wrestlers who he's kind of like Kevin Owens. When, like, you see a move, you're like, he shouldn't be able to move like that, but he does. And I think if he actually gets a legit singles push, I'm not saying they should break up the New Day, but I think with a good singles push, kind of like how Kofi had last year, it would do wonders for the New Day when Kofi and Xavier are ready to come back.
Absolutely. Now let's go to like the master of the wrestling hall. Don't forget, guys, he opened a crate today. Impact, talking about Slammiversary, something that we did last week. In the spirit of that, the master of the wrestling crate, Mr. Jean-Paul Lack.
Well, what I'm about to say you'll want to change it to the master of disaster, because I'm going to say Big E, the singles push, it's legit. He deserves to be able to just show on his own what he can do. But Kofi said 6 weeks. What are you going to push this guy in 6 weeks? He's not going to beat the Fiend. I don't see them putting the Intercontinental Championship on him. So, he's probably going to have some matches. He might have a feud. He might even just feud single against Nakamura and Cesaro. You know what I mean? I don't really see much coming from this feud, unfortunately, or from this, singles run, unfortunately. But I do think Big E will be able to showcase, more what he can do by himself than he was able to in the tag.
Unless they do what Ryan just mentioned, push Big E as like the leader of the New Day, and kind of Kofi and Xavier, or kind of like just being in the back and like kind of cheering for him.
But then the only thing though I could see is him maybe beating AJ or whoever's the Intercontinental Champion at some point, because there's no way he beats the Fiend.
Oh, no,
there's no way that they push that. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
so, the singles push is coming at a weird time for him right now, because, like I said, the only thing he'll be able to achieve is mid-card title.
Yeah, and also like let's say Ryan, if Matt Riddle becomes the IC champion, he's not gonna give the title to Big E.
No,
it's not happening.
No.
Right,
Yeah.
Ryan?
Then they're not gonna stop a singles push, though. I mean, I feel like crazier things have happened in WWE, so I mean, I wouldn't be entirely shocked if they did it. That's just kind of how it works. When you think like, oh, this is definitely gonna happen, then all of a sudden it's just that swerve to always get you. They always do it. Every now and then they pull that swerve out.
Isaiah.
The Isaiah.
Yeah, they always do Isaiah. That's true. That's true. Now let's go to the biggest storyline, or like the best storyline that WWE has been able to produce in the 2020 with the pandemic, and that's our with the Peach. That's legit. So we're gonna see them after a lot, like a month and a half that we haven't seen them. They've been just in their house, just getting some baby making right there, or what's going on with these guys. And we're gonna see them a little bit, like Money in the Bank winner. So, what's going on with it?
Yeah, that to me still blows my mind, the Money in the Bank. But I mean, yeah, I thought the same thing. Like, is Otis still employed here? Like, is he alive? Are him and Mandy safe? Are they okay? And we finally saw, they showed clips of all that, the scene from the pool and everything. So, it was good to get caught up with Otis. But like I said, he's more funny than anything. But I did read a report that Vince McMahon is still really behind him and his push. So we'll see what they do with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan?
Yeah. It's interesting to see a storyline with the Money in the Bank winner, where the Money in the Bank briefcase itself is, I don't want to say an afterthought, but it's not the forefront of the rivalry. Or not the rivalry, but of the storyline. Yeah. Because you always see when you have the winner, they're always on TV, like kind of like, am I going to do it? Maybe tonight, maybe next week, who knows? But this is just, he hasn't teased it. There's been nothing like that. Just Otis and Mandy.
Yeah. We had a bit of a promo of Nakamura and Cesaro. They were like, hey, we're going to throw through all the teams on SmackDown, and they already did that because there's no teams.
Exactly.
There's no teams. Ever Rice, Jean Paul, let's get it from NXT. Hey, that's what they need, guys. Bring more teams, like do or make teams in the fly. They need something because these guys, what are they going to be fighting about?
Yeah.
Or who are they going to fight?
I mean, if you're not going to do a singles push with whichever one of the Usos is still, able to, not dead, and then with Shorty G, put them together, because Chad Gable was always like a tag team guy, unfortunately, even though he should be pushing a singles role. The two of them could be like, hey, both our partners are done, let's form a team, makeshift team, and you can just do something with them and put them in the tag division.
Exactly.
And like you said, put guys together.
So, guys, now let's go to the main event time, and we're going to start with Mr. Whitman. Bar fight. Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. I think they have JBL kind of talking throughout the whole thing, like, oh, yeah, I've been in bar fights before. Jean Paul is being already in a bar fight. He's already, like, half drunk, so he's legit. But, so, Ryan, your thoughts on this? I think the match itself, not, quality-wise, like, I'm not going to say, oh, my God, it's like a Okada versus Omega. But at least, hey, it fit its purpose.
Yeah, I think there were the fun moments of the fight that you could say were enjoyable. I got a kick when Hardy threw the basketballs at Sheamus. I thought that was funny. The swan going into the bathroom, I thought to myself, like, all right, in the urinal.
Well, wait, he drank the water.
Yeah,
that's legit.
Yeah, when he gave him the swirly. Yeah.
That's legit. That's legit. Yeah. No, it was good.
It was a fun match, Thought the ending was fine. I was a little confused, because when the hat is on his face, it's Hardy's face, and then Sheamus pulls the hat off, he's got the makeup on. But, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, the makeup was never presented as, like, an alter ego for Jeff Hardy. It's just Jeff Hardy in makeup. So why was he changed then all of a sudden?
Exactly. So, like, yeah. See, I agree with you. I agree with you because, see, like, for example, Jean Paul, he was telling me his brother Nero, and I'm like, but, like, we've seen, like, in the picture, you ain't even with the pain. So what does the pain do to you? Like you said, Goku goes Super Saiyan or something? Like, what's going on? So Jean Paul, the master of the Miller Lite or the Bud Light, like, tell us.
Yeah, so I just think, because of the way that the pain came on, it's not like he came in there with the pain and then it was like Warrior where it was all rubbed away. It just magically appeared. So that's why I think the brother Nero, maybe, because it's like a power, some kind of supernatural thing. Maybe they just did it just for the story. Maybe Sheamus was so drunk that Jeff was actually laying there for 2 hours, and then he put the makeup on. So who knows? The match, though, like you said, if you weren't expecting like a legit contest and like just a bar fight, presented in a WWE PG manner, then that's exactly what this was. Like the swirly and this and that. I would have liked to see Jeff get a little more offense in. I feel like he just got his ass kicked until the end. But, I mean, the Swanton was cool, except for the fact that you clearly could tell that there was a padding there, which they kind of booked themselves in a way where it's like, okay, he's doing a Swanton off a ladder onto a cement floor. Clearly he's going to kill one, if not both of them. So you had to protect them. But, yeah. I mean, it was a good match in the sense that, like, you know, the right guy won. Jeff Hardy got his win. Now he can move on to a legit feud. Exactly.
So, Ryan, like, what do you feel about, like, Jeff kind of name-dropping Matt Hardy? Because he said, my brother, you know, had to be deleted from his WWE career, and I came here to get mine back.
I was surprised, because you always get the vibe from WWE that they try to erase their history, especially if it involves wrestlers going to different companies. So it was good, kind of refreshing to see him saying, you know, Matt had to delete his career. It's just a nice little reference, and hopefully they do that more going forward with the AEW being a big player and wrestlers going back and forth and also going to, say, New Japan, just places like that.
Exactly. I think that's a Paul, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think WWE, they can still sell the name the Hardy Boys because he said my brother. He didn't say Matt Hardy, you could say. And we all obviously know who he's talking about. You know, it's not like Billy Bob Hardy. No, it's clearly Matt Hardy. So, but they can sell the Hardy Boys on a T-shirt. They can't sell Matt Hardy on a T-shirt. So if you say my brother, you think the Hardy Boys. So it's like, oh, okay. So that's why I think WWE, they let that one slide. They're like, oh, okay. But, you know, I like it because it's like, you know, just because he's working for the rival, you're not going to forget everything that this guy did in the company. You're not, especially if Jeff's here, it's his freaking brother. You're not, especially with how much they work together and against each other, you're not going to forget that he existed. So I like it. And it's, you know, real. It made it feel, that line made like all of this feel real. Like he's like, hey man, like I struggle with all these issues. I need to fight to get my career back.
I agree with both of you because see, Ryan, what he's saying, like WWE does have that habit of like delete the history.
And like they did with Jericho.
And like what you say, for example, if they want to make a little bit of money of the Hardy Boys on its own, like is a money maker. So why can't just do that? And it's cool that to hear that both of you had like think alike. It's like, hey, you know, like let's kind of like if they are rivals, kind of like let's pick fun of them. You know, hey, like kind of like if they want to make fun of us, why don't we just make fun of them also? So, you know, it's pretty interesting. So I think that family, like this show was actually one of the best Smackdowns of this year. I think that like if it is what we just reported is like if Edge and Dana Ryan are actually helping out to write the show, hopefully this actually makes their shows better because the ratings are absolutely sinking and they need to go up, up, up. WWE just lost like its deal in Italy, so they're not going to have WWE for the foreseeable future. AEW was picked up, you know, in exchange for WWE. So you see that like in Europe also, like they're more fans of AEW than WWE. So you see that like they need to change, or you know, this is gonna start like lacking, and then more guys are gonna have to go, and we're gonna be talking about them on Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, or also AEW. So guys, you know, looking forward for next week, right?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So you know, now let's do it with Ryan. Now, Ryan, where they can find us in the social media world?
Oh, social media, they can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, under the original Road Break, or you know, on Instagram, they can find us on where's Jean Paul on Facebook.
You can find us on Facebook, the original Rope Break, Twitter, the OG Rope Break, and where on YouTube can they find us?
Or the Meat and Potatoes, right? Under the original Rope Break. So, you know, family, thank you so very much for watching every single one of our content. You know that every day, we're going to put out more videos and more content for you guys. It is like reviews, either, you know, interviews, anything that guys have. These my two brothers right here love the Ninja Turtles. We might do a video on that. Hey, you know, we love fights. We love Leonardo. We love Splinter. We love Shredder. We love Krang. So, you know, why not? You know, we can make it wrestling related also. So there's a lot of news on that.
Big sexy Kevin Nash was Super Shredder in the second Ninja Turtle. So it all comes full circle.
Sheamus was also Rocksteady.
Yeah, he was in the new ones. Yeah,
he was Rocksteady. So you know, everything is wrestling. You know, the Ninja Turtles love wrestling. Jean Paul even showed me. He's gonna show. He promised that he's gonna show one line of one of the animated like TV show. He's gonna show a line that like the Turtles love wrestling. So you know, we're gonna have a video on that. You know, so hopefully all of you enjoy that. So in the name of Jean Paul Ryan, and myself, there's only one more thing that is left to say, and also have a great weekend, all of you. And that is...